beautiful babes, this is Abbi J, and today we are going over 10 adulting tips for you young women out there, because these are adulting tips that I wish that I had known. They're not really things that like somebody's going to tell you or teach you, but I am. I'm gonna help you out and help you avoid some embarrassment, some awkward moments, some just pure like, dang, that would have been so smart to do. So here coming at you is 10 of my best adulting tips for you young women. So let's get started. So my first tip for you young women is to keep your car clean. Yeah, that might seem really weird and really out there, but believe me that people judge you by how your car is. Like, not the outside of it, because we all start out with a beater car. Like, believe me, I still drive beater cars, but the inside of it shows so much reflection of like who you are. Like, do you leave just like trash around? Do you have like random stuff in your car? Does your car smell bad? Like, these are all a reflection of you when somebody gets into your car, whether you like it or not. So keep it clean. One rule that I have is no matter what, when I get out of my car, I have to look around for any trash, because that's something that can easily pile up. So that is my first rule on like adulting 101, is to keep your car looking clean on the inside. And my rule number 2, which is so vitally important, is to tidy up your social media. Now, ladies, I don't mean that you have to become an influencer, that you have to be so good at social media and that your pictures are stunning. I mean that you need to clean up your social media in your photos, that like what type of content you're posting, and also like your captions. Are you a little bit edgy? Are you a little bit out there? And the reason I say this is because employers, somebody who is looking to hire you, without a doubt will look at your social media. And what are they gonna see? Are they gonna see you in a lot of bikini pics? Are they gonna see you in a lot of posts that have like swear words or vulgarity or making fun of other people? Like, that's not somebody that they want to hire. So be so classy on your social media. Do not be a bully to other people. Don't comment on things that you think are stupid or dumb. You know, keep it really clean and just pretty straightforward. Even I'd be careful about like commenting, resharing things that are very politically charged, because for people looking at your social media, like who are employers or people who even want to date you, like this might be something that like they don't understand until they get to meet you. So you shouldn't like cover up who you are, but you really should keep it really classy and very high level on social media. My third tip for you is to keep your stuff nice. This kind of goes back to keeping your car clean, but also like your clothes, like just making sure that you don't have stains, that they don't smell bad, that you keep your area, if you're over at like college in a dorm or your house, like neat and orderly. You don't have to be all like Martha Stewart on your house or your areas, but just keep them nice, orderly, cleanly. This is gonna help you not only like have peace and organization in your life, but it's also going to help you, you know, come off as more of an adult, more grown up, and have more responsibility because you take care of the things that you do have. And tip number 4 is to organize your finances. Now, I've done a lot of videos on money. I'm not a money channel, but I am a money freak myself. I believe so strongly in like a budget and that there's laws and rules to money. So I'm gonna put those videos for you up above and down below so you can check those out and get a way more in-depth tutorial on like how to save money, how to do your finances. And the number 1 key to this video and just this tip on money is avoid debt. Like, the best adulting tip I can give you is to avoid debt, because when you turn like 18, I swear all the credit card companies just send them all your way and you're pre-approved and you have so much freedom and you can go spend money. Don't. It is such a level of responsibility and such a sign of a true blue, like you are an adult and a responsible individual when you can manage your money and keep in proportion your needs and your wants. Oh, tip number 5. I wish somebody had told me this. So girl, listen up, take notes. If you do any of my tips, do this one. Have a folder for important papers. Oh, I wish I had done this. I can't tell you, I was doing my tax return for like my first big girl job, right? And so, you know, I pull out my tax return and they say, well, you know, where's last year's?
I was like, oh, I didn't keep that because it was like a dinky little job, you know?
keep all those really important papers. It's gonna save you so much time and stress and worry and like trying to dig through your old stuff to try to find it. So keep a folder. Mine even says important papers for Abby. And you know, these need to have everything in it that you could ever be asked for, that, you know, taxes, social security information, like anything that's really important, you need to keep in a nice folder where you keep it safe, put away, where you know where it's at. Tip number 6 is such a sign of a classy lady, and also one of my best adulting tips I could give you, and that is when you are going to a party, an event, always bring a gift, an offer to bring some food, like, or a card. Never show up empty-handed. And this is one of those tips that you can learn the hard way, but this is something that really distinguishes people who are mature, growing up, and very classy, is at the very least you offer like, hey, can I bring a dish to your party? Or how can I support you in this way? Or, you know what, it was your birthday and I left you a card. And this doesn't have to be, I'm not about like going out and spending a lot of money on gifts. It's all about just like bringing your friend a flower on their birthday, or letting somebody know that you appreciated the effort that they put in for you. Tip number 7, ladies, actually probably was the reason my husband married me, and hear me out. And it is to introduce yourself to strangers. So, funny story for you, when I went over, my husband had gotten back from his mission in Florida, teaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. So he came back from that mission. I went over to say hi to him, and his dad came upstairs, and I'd never met his dad. And I got up off the couch, I went over, I put my hand out, and I said, hey, I am Abby, Williams at the time. You know, I met your son in high school, and I'm like, it's nice to meet you. Okay, I didn't know this until we were now married. His dad took me aside and said, I loved you from the moment I met you because you stood up and introduced yourself to me. And I told Josh when you left that was somebody he should date. So ladies, this tip could score you a husband if you really follow it. So when you go somewhere new, at work, somebody brings a friend that you don't know, introduce yourself. It is a very classy thing to do. Tip number 8 is a no-brainer, but I want to remind you to eat well. A lot of us, especially my young women out there who are in that like stage of growing up and wanting to learn some adulting tips, you could probably eat anything you want. I reminisce about the days when I could like eat whatever I wanted and it really didn't matter, or I didn't feel gross after it. So my challenge for you is to start to develop some really good eating habits, to start to exercise and take care of your body, because one day your metabolism is going to slow down. And more importantly than that, and just like feeling and looking good, it's about, you know, just being healthy and strong and feeling like your body is such a gift and taking care of that gift. So that is what tip number 8 is all about. Tip number 9, you know it, is to be on time to events and appointments and anywhere that you've promised to be. Now, this one's really hard, especially for casual events. We feel like, oh, it doesn't matter if I'm late. It really does, and it starts to add up and people start to know you as like, oh, well, they're never on time. You can't count on Abby to be there, right? You don't want that reputation. So one of my best adulting tips for you on being mature and classy is to show up on time to everything, to appointments, to casual events, to family parties. Be on time. My last adulting tip for you, tip number 10, is to be safe. That might seem really weird, and I think Edward says it to Bella all the time in Twilight, but it's true, especially when we're in that stage of like, we are an adult, but we're also a teenager, and you know, like there's a lot of adrenaline and hormones and friends that cause a lot of peer pressure. Sometimes we think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna jump off this cliff and it's gonna be really fun, or I'm gonna drive crazy because my friends think it's funny, or I'm gonna, you know, rev my engine. Just kind of like silly teenage things. I would challenge you to stay away from those, because, not because I'm trying to be like a buzzkill or a wet blanket, but because, you know, this is your life. It's so incredibly precious, and you never know when something dumb is going to happen. When, you know, you don't pay that much attention in driving and you get a ticket, and that stays on your record, and now your insurance is more money. Like, everything has a repercussion. Everything has a consequence. And so be safe. You know, go have fun, but like drive safe. That's one of the big things. I was never impressed. I had 2 guys that took me on dates when I was younger, and they were trying to impress me and like run through lights that were like red and barely turning green, you know what I mean? Or they were trying to like buzz up the street to my house, and they just thought it was so like funny and that I would think it was cool, and I totally didn't. And so, you know, be safe, be wise. That is one of the best signs of somebody that is really like mature and working on their like adulting skills, is that they know the value of their life and they know the value of other people's life. Okay, ladies, there you have it. Those are my 10 tips for you on adulting, which is such a weird topic, but I think all of us really need these tips, and I wish somebody had sat me down and told me all of these tips, because I learned the majority of them the hard way. The majority of them came from like being embarrassed that I didn't know something, or having to learn the hard way that it's better to be safe than sorry. And so I hope these tips help you out. If you have any adulting tips, leave them down below for me, because I love this community. I think we can learn from each other. Like I said, I learned these all from experience. So what are some that you've learned from experience? And don't forget to check out some of those videos that I have that go in depth further on like finances or simplifying your life, or some of these topics that I briefly covered as a tip. I've got a better video for down below. So I hope these adulting tips helped you out. I cannot wait to see you on my channels, ladies, in my next video. So Abbi J out.